It is Holier Than Thou time, where we have a crack at people who have abdicated their responsibility to talk to the public. Holier Than Thou news this week, I want to talk about the Treaty Principles Bill and some of its more fierce opponents, most of whom I've noticed have no business pontificating and grandstanding on political issues, and they're still running around screaming bloody murder about a piece of legislation that has no viable path into law. I want to start, if I could, with the Teaching Council. And we mentioned this earlier in the week. Many teachers in this country, as we know, find it difficult to keep their political views to themselves when representing their profession, especially when it comes to this particular bill. We learnt last year that a few schools in Wellington had sent out email blasts telling parents that they could look the other way if they pulled their kids out of school to take them to the protest against the bill. Which again, they had absolutely no business getting involved in as teachers, and I believe I said as much at the time. This time, though, it's the Teaching Council that have been a little bit silly, and they, of course, purport to represent teachers of all backgrounds, views and teaching styles in New Zealand. Their Chief Executive, Leslie Hoskin, made an oral submission against the Treaty Principles Bill late last week. In the submission, she basically droned on about how teachers... then the teaching profession in New Zealand is proud of how it upholds the mana of teachers, has teachers of many backgrounds and origins, and wants to be inclusive and give effect to titiriti, whatever that means. What I'd have loved to ask the Teaching Council of New Zealand, if they'd had the cojones to front up on this program, is what specific part of this proposed piece of legislation would stop them from being able to employ a diverse variety of teachers and treat everyone in their organisation with respect and dignity. That wasn't something that was referred to in Leslie's submission, and that's quite important because if you can't quantify, Leslie, how this bill would impact the proud history of employing and respecting a diverse range of teachers, then you're just submitting on the bill to show everyone that you're a lefty that doesn't like David Seymour, and that you have trouble keeping that fact to yourself. So please stick to administering and facilitating the teaching of young New Zealanders and stop using children as political tools to grandstand against a government you don't like. I wonder as well whether the Teaching Council are confident that all the views expressed by their chief executive represent all of their members' views. Also, can I say this week the New Zealand College of Midwives have been incredibly woke and silly as well. ACT MP Todd Smith brought their antics to the public's attention on X and basically said, look, at this... Sorry, Todd Stevenson, you're right. Yep, Todd Stevenson, ACT MP, brought their that to the public's attention on X and basically said, look at this rubbish. The College of Midwives have sent out a checklist, how condescending is that, to their members with a list of self-affirmation type things like, I quote, I demonstrate knowledge and awareness of Te Tiriti o Waitangi. I recognise the treaty as the source of my rights as a non-Māori to call New Zealand home. I understand that my intergenerational privilege has created blind spots for my own entitlement and strive to limit that entitlement. As a non-Māori, I strive not to consume a hui with my hot reckons. I don't make it about me when Māori need privacy and space to themselves. And lastly, I support a titiriti-centred constitution for Aotearoa New Zealand, with a little checkbox next to it. So just astonishing stuff from the New Zealand College of Midwives. Now, I sent this checklist to them and asked them to front up and defend it, and they haven't given me anything back. So to them, I'm going to say, piss off. This is all roundly irrelevant to your roles and responsibilities as a representative body for midwives, and you've just clearly gone insane. And remember, these are the people that wanted to get rid of the word woman from their charter and guidelines. So they've been infiltrated by crazy people, and they need to front up to this because it's nuts. And that's Holier Than Thou for today. A short one, but two pretty significant issues, I think.